You know that sinking feeling when you text someone after a great date and you hear nothing back for days? That silence has a name, and in today's American dating culture, it's often a deliberate message. Welcome to Speak Like a Native. Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
Today we're cracking the code on modern American dating language. We're talking about 3 key terms that everyone uses, but that can be totally confusing if you're coming from a different cultural background. Ghosting, DTR, and the unspoken rules around splitting the bill.
Okay, I have heard ghosting before. It's when someone just disappears, right? Stops replying to your messages out of nowhere.
Exactly. But here's the cultural insight that surprises most learners. In many American dating contexts, ghosting is the message. It's not necessarily seen as just incredibly rude in all cases. Though it can be, it's often understood as a nonverbal way of saying, I'm not interested in moving forward. It's a soft rejection.
A soft rejection? So instead of saying I had a nice time, but I don't think we're a match, they just vanish?
Unfortunately, yes, very often. It avoids a potentially awkward conversation. Now, if you've been on several dates or in an established situationship, ghosting is considered pretty harsh. But after a first or second date, it's sadly common. The rule of thumb is, if you haven't had a define the relationship talk, a DTR, ghosting is a frequent exit strategy.
Wait, hold on. DTR? That's our second term. Define the relationship.
Right. This is a crucial talk. It's the conversation where you move from casual, unclear dating to something defined. You might say, so where is this going? Or are we exclusive? Or are you my boyfriend as girlfriend? Now, that's a DTR. It's a milestone.
So before a DTR, things are fuzzy and ghosting is more acceptable.
More common, let's say. Not necessarily acceptable to everyone, but it's a recognized part of the landscape. After a DTR, if someone ghosts, that's a major breach of trust. Okay, let's paint a picture. Leo, imagine we just recorded a podcast episode together. It went well. I say, hey, great working with you. Let's hang out sometime.
Okay, sounds good.
Now, imagine I say, hey, that was fun. I'd love to take you out for coffee sometime. A proper date.
Oh,
Feel the difference?
yeah. Let's hang out is friendly, vague. I'd love to take you out on a date is direct romantic intention.
Perfect. In American dating, that distinction is everything. Hang out is low pressure, could be just friends. Go on a date or take you out implies romantic interest. Many misunderstandings happen because one person thinks they're on a date and the other thinks they're just hanging out.
I see. So the language sets the expectation. Now, what about during the date itself? The bill comes, minefield.
Total minefield. This is where learners from many cultures, like China or parts of Europe, where insisting to pay is a sign of hospitality, can get tripped up. The modern default rule in many American cities, especially on a first date between equals, is to offer to split the bill.
Offer, so you don't actually have to split it?
Great question. The gesture is key. You should always reach for your wallet or say, can I get this? Or let's split it. Even if the other person says, no, I've got it, you've shown good faith. The mistake is to just sit there and assume the other person will pay, especially if you're the one who asked for the date.
What if I really want to pay? Like I invited them.
Then you can say, I invited you, so it's on me. Or please, I'd really like to get this. That's clear and gracious. The awkwardness comes from the assumption, not the paying.
Let me try a scenario. I'm on a first date. The check comes. I say, so 50-50?
Okay, that's direct. It works, but it sounds a bit transactional, like a business deal. More natural would be reaching for your wallet while saying, here, let me get half. Or shall we split this? It's softer.
Got it. Shall we split this? Not 50-50. Noted.
Now, let's loop back to ghosting. I want you to try something, Leo. You went on a date with Sam 2 days ago. You thought it went well. You texted the next day saying, had a great time last night. It's been 48 hours. No reply. What's the culturally savvy next move?
I guess I send another text. Maybe, hey, is everything okay?
And that's the instinct for so many people. But in this context, no reply is the reply. Sending a follow up text often comes across as needy, or like, you can take a hint. The culturally understood move is to take the silence as a no thank you and move on. Sending another message usually won't get you a reply, but it might just make the other person uncomfortable.
Wow. So silence is an answer. That's hard, but it's good to know.
It is hard. And this is a big adjustment for learners from cultures where direct communication is valued or where persistence is seen as romantic. In mainstream American dating culture, after one or two dates, persistence after silence can feel like pressure.
Okay, so we have ghosting, DTR, and splitting the bill. These are like the three pillars of early stage dating confusion.
They really are. And here's a common mistake I hear from my students: translating dating phrases directly from their language. For example, in Spanish, you might say te invito, which means I invite you and clearly means you'll pay. In English, if you just say I invite you, it sounds a bit formal. We'd say it's my treat or dinner's on me. Same intention, different natural phrasing.
Or in some cultures, arguing over the bill is a polite ritual. You have to insist 3 times.
Exactly. Do that here, and your date might just think you're genuinely arguing and give up. One sincere offer is enough. Now, let's talk about DTR again, because the phrasing matters. Leo, how would you start a DTR conversation?
I'd be nervous. Maybe, so what are we?
And it's totally fine. It's a little vague, but it gets the point across. Other natural ways. I'm really enjoying spending time with you. I'm not seeing anyone else, and I was wondering if you feel the same way. Or I'd love to call you my girlfriend. How does that sound to you? The key is to be clear about your own feelings first.
What if the other person says, I'm not ready for a label during the DTR?
That's a very common answer. It means they like you but want to keep things casual, non-exclusive. Then you have a choice. Are you okay with that, or do you need a defined relationship? It's information. Now here's a suspenseful moment for our listeners. In a few minutes, Leo is going to make the exact mistake about 90% of my intermediate students make when they hear about splitting the bill. Stay with us to see if you can catch it.
No pressure.
None at all. Let's do a quick recap so far. Ghosting, silence as a soft no early on. DTR, the talk that defines things. Splitting the bill, the default offer, with the gesture being as important as the action.
And the huge difference between hanging out and a date.
Yes, that language sets the entire tone. Okay, practice time. I'll set a scene. Leo, you're texting with Alex, someone you met once. You want to see them again romantically. What do you text?
Hey Alex, I had a lot of fun talking last week. Would you like to go on a date with me sometime? Maybe get coffee?
Perfect. Clear, direct, uses the word date. Excellent. Scenario 2, you're at the end of a first date. The server puts the check down. What do you do and say?
I reach for my wallet and say, here, let's split this.
Great. Natural gesture, natural phrase. Scenario 3, it's been 3 weeks, you've gone out 4 times, you really like this person, and don't want to see anyone else. Time for a DTR. You say,
I've really loved these past few weeks with you. I'm at a point where I'm not interested in seeing other people. How are you feeling about us?
Leo, that is textbook perfect. You stated your own feeling first, then asked an open question. That's a mature, low-pressure way to DTR. Okay, get ready, listeners. Here comes the common mistake. Leo, remember we said offering to split is the default?
Yep.
So if I, as your date, say, oh no, please, I asked you out, I'll get it. What is the wrong thing to say?
The wrong thing? I guess, no, I insist, I must pay. And we start fighting over the bill.
Yes, that's the instinct from many cultures. But in this context, once the person who initiated the date insists politely, the gracious response is to say, are you sure? Thank you so much, that's really kind. And then you can offer, next one is on me, or I'll get the tip. The mistake is to turn the offer into a struggle. Accepting generosity gracefully is also a skill.
So thank you is better than a fight.
Exactly. It's about reading the context. If they insist after your offer, let them. Now, for our listeners driving or cleaning, today's single memorable takeaway is this. In modern American dating, your actions and silence often speak as loudly as your words. A follow-up text after radio silence usually doesn't change a no into a yes.
That's a powerful one, and a bit sad, but practical.
It is practical knowledge. It helps you manage expectations and not waste emotional energy. And remember, if you want to avoid all this ambiguity, be clear with your words early. Use date offer to split, and when you're ready, have the DTR.
This has been super helpful, Maya. I feel like I understand a hidden rule book.
I'm glad, and if you're finding this decoding of real-life English helpful, make sure you're following Speak Like a Native. We drop new lessons like this every single day, breaking down the English you actually need for work, travel, friendship, and yes, dating.
Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson that could save you from confusion.
Now, your challenge this week. Listen for these terms in American TV shows, movies, or podcasts. See if you can spot a ghosting scenario or a DTR conversation. It's everywhere.
And try using one of them yourself, maybe when talking about this episode with a friend learning English.
Perfect. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye!